Welcome to our 21st session of Hilchot Shabbat. Happy Hanukkah to everyone. Today we're going to cover chapters 294 to 300 in shulhan-arukh or Haim, which speak about the Havdala. The Havdala originally is a very short ritual. We say Bore Priya Gefen, Bore Meore Esh, Bore Atze Besamim or Minei or Izbei, whatever you use, and the Bracha of Havdala. But because of the affection that people had towards this ritual, we added more verses and prayers before and after liturgy, repetition of verses that sometimes for some people could take hours. And there are many different customs regarding the Havdalah that I'm not going to cover, just mention briefly. Some people do it while sitting, some while standing in the synagogue, standing or sitting. A lot of debates around that. They require a braided candle or several flames. Some people laugh, even loudly when the person who says the Havdalah says Bore Priya Gefen. Some people would not allow women to drink from the wine of Havdalah for fear that they will grow a beard. Never happened, by the way. Some people don't allow blowing out the candle, but rather dipping it in wine or with your fingers. There's a custom to take the wine of the Havdalah and apply it to the eyes, or put it in the pockets, or put it on wounds or warts. Some spill wine on the floor as a symbol of abundance. When you look at the candle, some make sure that they see the fingernails, or even what's under the fingernail, between the fingernail and the flesh. Some say that you cannot use a candle that was lit from before Shabbat. Some look specifically for a candle that was lit from before Shabbat. So let us just go through the basics of what is necessary and what we need to know. The reason for saying the bracha for Besamim on Motzei Shabbat, according to the Gemara, is that we need something to revive our spirit, our neshama. Is saddened when Shabbat is over, so we feed the neshama with good smell. And there's a wordplay in Hebrew: ruach and reach. Ruach, spirit; reach, good smell. The reason for saying Bore Meore Esh is, again, according to the Gemara, this is when the fire was given as a gift to mankind, or in other words, symbolically, we go back to our work week. And we start using technology, and the basic tool for technology for anything that we do in the practical world is fire. So that's why we say Bore Meore Esh, and then the Bracha on Havdala. So, wine. Let's start with the first thing. This is the first requirement, wine. Some people cannot drink wine, or even they wouldn't even drink something sweet at night. So could they use what is called Hamar Medina, the common drink of that country? The answer is yes. You can, whatever is the popular drink in your country, in your location, you could use it for Havdalah. Later on, we'll see that sometimes the same rule applies to Pesach and to other situations when you need wine. But because the whole idea of using wine is one of respect. What is a way to show respect to the meal that you're about to have, or to the ritual that you're going to conduct? So if you're a recovered alcoholic, you don't want to use wine. Or if you're someone that suffers from diabetes, you don't want to drink any sugary drinks. Or for whatever reason, you need a specific drink, then what could you use? So for in many different discussions in Halakha, the idea of Hamar Medina, the common drink, is mentioned. Some people argue that it is only alcoholic drink. They mention shechar, either vodka or beer. Others say that any popular drink is fine, except for milk, because people didn't use to drink milk as it is. In recent generations, Rabbi Elyashiv ruled that even orange juice is considered Hamar Medina when people regularly drink it, and it's considered an important drink. However, it seems that everybody says that water is not important enough. But if we keep looking at the changing environment, reality around us, water has become an extremely important drink, and even in places where it's easily available, you have tap water, people don't want to drink tap water they want to drink, expensive water in fancy bottles, could be smart or intelligent water, Vox, Fiji, Hawaii, whatever name you slap on it, you put it in a nice bottle, you charge $2 or $3 or more extra. That makes it already an important drink. For that, you could, if you don't want or you cannot use any other type of drink for the Havdalah, you could use water, but preferably not tap water, but water that has some kind of a status, like a status symbol. Okay, regarding the candle, the whole debate whether it should be lit from before Shabbat or not from before Shabbat, the one requirement that Halacha makes is that candle was not lit in a way which is forbidden. Meaning, if the candle was lit on Shabbat, you cannot say Havdala on it on Motzei Shabbat. So if it was lit by a non-Jew in a way which is not permissible, meaning that you told him directly, please light the candle for me on Shabbat, and there was no pressing need, there was no problem, and you should not use it. That is very uncommon, especially since we have easy ways to light candles that were not available in the past. You light the candle at the synagogue with the matches, there's no problem at all. If you want to use it at home, you have a yahrzeit candle that was burning from before Shabbat, you can definitely use it, no problem. Now, sometimes you cannot find a candle in the synagogue. It happened. The gabbai is not there. The cabinet is locked. What do you do? Could you use an electric bulb? Apparently not, because light bulb, electricity, is not fire, and we've discussed it before. So it seems like one should not say Borei Morei Esh over a light bulb. However, we could argue that since the bracha of Borei Morei Esh is a symbolic bracha, where we thank God for the gift of knowledge and technology, when they returned to the practical world, Olam HaMaaseh, on Motzei Shabbat. So since electricity definitely represents technology, and since most people commonly think of electricity as fire, even though it is not, when we say the bracha, we could say it for that. So if you have no candle at home or at the synagogue, you could use the whatever electric light is available to say Borei Mehorei Esh. So now that we've covered the wine, the candles, and the besamim, let us talk about the permissibility of eating or not eating before the Havdalah. So most people know, it's like an axiom, that you cannot eat anything before the Havdalah, that you must stop eating once sunset has arrived, and it sometimes puts them in trouble, and that you cannot drink water before the Havdalah. So if the Havdalah is delayed, you remain parched, and this is not good. So the halacha is that if you start eating during Shabbat, you could continue eating, whether you washed, but even if you are just eating cakes or fruits, desserts, or just drinking, just continue, because it's Shabbat. You don't rush out of Shabbat. Once you've finished eating or having dessert or whatever it is that you have, then you say the last bracha harona, and say arvit, and then say the Havdalah. Even then, before saying the Havdalah, you can drink water, because one should not suffer. If you did not do Havdalah on Motzei Shabbat, which is sometimes can happen if you fall asleep, or in countries in Europe where Shabbat ends very late, so you wake up Sunday morning, you didn't do Havdalah, what do? There are several opinions. One says that you could go on with Havdalah until Tuesday night. One says that you could only do it on Sunday. Even when you do it then, Sunday, or up until Tuesday, you only say Borei Pri Gefen and Hamavdil ben Kodesh Lechol. However, there are other opinions that say that if you already ate on Motzei Shabbat, you don't say the Havdalah again during the week. So to each his own, you have possibilities, you choose what you want to do. The halacha mentions also that one should not do any work on Motzei Shabbat, melacha, until you do Havdalah. That only refers to what is considered a craftsmanship, such as weaving or carpentry or anything creative like that. But driving, lighting a candle, using electricity, there's no problem, as long as you pray at Arvit and you say the Havdalah Ata honen ladam dat, ata honantanu, in the Amidah, or you just say, if you didn't say Arvit yet, Baruch HaMavdil ben Kodesh Lehol. The Mashgiach in my yeshiva, when I studied in Sderot, in Israel, he lived in Netivot. We would wait for him on Motzei Shabbat. He would say Mavdil ben Kodesh Lehol, get on his car, drive over to the yeshiva, and we would pray Arvit together. Finally, in chapter 300 of the shulhan-arukh, he speaks about Sauda Revi'it. He says, "Le'olam yisader adam shulhano b'motzei Shabbat, ve'af al pi shelo tzarich ela lekazait." One should always set the table on Motzei Shabbat, even if he only eats going to eat a kazait bread. Just as we mentioned about the Saudot of Shabbat, please don't go crazy. Please use common sense. Some people, and I know that as a fact, I know in my house, the moment Shabbat was over, the moment we did the Havdala, they said, okay, please put out the bread on the table. I need to eat 2 kezitot. It's about a pita and a half, in their opinion, in order to fulfill the mitzvah of Saudah Revi'it. And I say, how can you eat? We just finished Saudah Shalishit about an hour ago. You're full to the brim. He says, no, but it's a mitzvah. It's not a mitzvah. It's not a mitzvah to drive yourself crazy. The Mishnah Berurah says clearly, this is just out of respect for Shabbat. And if you cannot eat bread, either because you don't have it, you cannot afford it, or you can't, you're just full, eat mezonot, or eat fruit. And remember, as I said by the name of my grandfather, who taught me, only eat if you can. Don't push yourself at all. If you cannot eat Saudah Revi'it, if it's too late at night, don't eat at all. And also remember that the whole idea of Saudah Revi'it is lelavot et hamalka, to accompany Shabbat when it leaves us, so we don't rush the Shabbat out the door. So if you sat and did an elaborate Havdala, or you sang a couple of songs, you had a special cup of coffee or tea, or whatever you want, but you gave the end of Shabbat that special spirit, the special feeling that I want Shabbat to linger, and I'm not rushing to kick it out the door, then you fulfill the mitzvah of Melav Malka. May we all have Shavua Tov, Hag Urim Sameach, have a great day.